Yes, all right. It's time for Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music. That's an album by Ray Charles. So, we know he moved to ABC Records after a highly successful period with Atlantic Records. He moved to ABC Records, released The Genius Hits the Road, a nice album. He released major singles, Hit the Road, Jack, Georgia on My Mind, and released a couple of jazz albums, I think. And so yeah, that's great. And then he releases Modern Sounds of Country and Western Music. He decides to cover country music, and this was a complete success. This was a huge album. It was released in 1962 in April, and yeah, what's there to say? It was so big. It was in America, it went to number one, and it stayed there for 14 weeks. And it had huge hit singles. It is highly critically acclaimed on every top 100, top 500, 2000, whatever list it's on there. It's the most influential R&B soul album there is. Ray Charles album, definitely. And what's there to say? It was absolutely amazing, and it's brought down some real barriers in music. It had a huge social impact. There was still a lot of racial tension, racial barriers in music, with of course R&B, soul, the 60s, 50s, 70s, and this was a huge album. On Wikipedia, I read that Billy Joel, a famous pop artist, did an interview for an article on the Rolling Stone magazine, and he said, I quote, "Here is a black man giving you the widest possible music in the blackest possible way, while all hell is breaking loose with the civil rights movement." It's funny how he brings that, but yeah, it's beautiful. So he brought these two different types of music together, so that's fantastic. It's a great album, and my favorite Ray Charles album, definitely. It's in my top 20 list of albums, I suspect. Yes, let's talk about arrangements. The string arrangements were made by Marty Page, and the big band arrangements were made by Gil Fuller and Gerald Wilson. So yeah, let's talk about the songs. Yes, on number one, Bye Bye Love. I knew this song from Simon & Garfunkel first, but it's of course a big hit for the Everly Brothers. It's a great opener. It's very up tempo. I love how the backing vocals, the backing singers start this song. There's a real pace there, and it's a great opener. And then we get the second song. I give it an A+, by the way. And then the second song is there are two major hit singles on this album, and this is one of them. You Don't Know Me. It went to number 2 in America and on number 9 in the UK. A big hit, and it's a song about heartbreak, like all those country songs are. And what's there to say? It's beautiful. The choir that sings along in this song is absolutely masterful. It's great. A+. Half as Much. Nice song. A breather. It's kind of a breather. It's a love song. It's nice. It's not my favorite of the album, but it's absolutely amazing. My least favorite song on the album, I still give an A. So you know where this is going, right? So Half as Much, I give an A as well. It's beautiful. And on number 4, I Love You So Much It Hurts. A slow song. What can I say? Beautiful string arrangements. Let's leave it at that. I'm gonna give this an A. Just a Little Loving Will Go a Long Way. Yeah, that's a nice up-tempo track. I like the lyrics. I like the melody. It's an uplifting song. So yeah, that's a great one. I want to grade all these songs, and I want to grade the album as well. I'm gonna give it an A+, definitely. And then we end the first side with Born to Lose, which is one of the best songs on the album. It's gorgeous. Now, what's there to say? I'm going to give it an A+. That's what I'm going to say. But we turn the vinyl over and we start with my very favorite Ray Charles song of all time. I like it even better than What I'd Say, which is my second favorite song, Worried Mind. It was written by Ted Daffan and Jimmy Davis. First time I heard that song was by Glenn Frey from his After Hours album some years ago, I think about 2012. And you can hear similarities, but I definitely love the Ray Charles version even more. It's beautiful. An A+ without a doubt. I would give it a higher grade if I could. Worried Mind, what's so fantastic about it? What's fantastic about it is the vocals are perfect, like all these songs on this album. But there's a kind of a tension. There's no drumming on this album, I think. And there's a real great mood. And there's a real... It's absolutely perfect. It's like listening to like a gem of a song. I could go on and on. It makes no difference now. It's a more laid back song. I think it's kind of familiar as Half as Much. I give it an A. Then we get a beautiful Hank Williams track called You Win Again. I think I prefer this song over the Hank Williams version, although his version was pretty acclaimed too. Yeah, it starts with a great choir, you know, What Can I Do? You Win Again. It's perfect. It's one of the best tracks on the album. I'm going to give it an A+. Careless Love is my least favorite song on the album, but it's really good. It's really fantastic. You know, these albums, as I said, this is in my top 20 albums of all time. You know, I haven't listened to as much of music as I could, but I know quite a few artists and I've listened to a lot of albums. So, you know, that's what you get. Careless Love, an A. And then we get the huge hit on this album is I Can't Stop Loving You. It's one of his best known tracks. It went to #1 on the Billboard charts. It is a Don Gibson song. It's #1 all around the world. Yeah, it's one of the first songs you get to know when you start listening to Ray Charles. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm repeating myself constantly by talking about this album. It's unthinkable how good this album is. And he had a great period in the Atlantic Records period. On Atlantic Records, The Genius of Ray Charles is a fantastic album too. I highly recommend you listening to that. And The Birth of Soul, The Genius Hits the Road is fantastic, but there's no topping modern South country and Western music. And we end the album with Hey Good Looking, the famous country song by Hank Williams. On this album, it's a very up-tempo track, really great, an A+, and I'm going to give this album an A+. And I'm also going to talk about the second volume of this album, because he made a second modern South country and Western music, which I think is absolutely amazing as well. I think that album is in my top 30, I think. Yeah, this album, an A+. I highly recommend you listening to that song. Just look at the description below. I'll put on a link, and have a nice day. Bye bye.